You need to be here on the discipline spectrum if you want to build incredible discipline in the least amount of time. Most people lean left, and that's why they are stuck in cycles of comfort, excuses, and average output. But I guarantee you, if you do these 5 things, you are going to build ruthless discipline in the least amount of time without burning out. And listen, if you can't watch this 10-minute video fully, you don't deserve discipline. So full screen this, kill all distractions, lock in. On the far left, we have what I call the alignment approach, which goes like, okay, you should honor your feelings, you should work when you are inspired, you should go with the natural flow of your bodily energy, and you basically prioritize comfort and feeling good. On the extreme right, we have the Spartan approach, which is just move through all the resistances, discipline as a punishment to yourself, just keep doing the work, ignore all the physical symptoms that you are feeling, just do it till you break yourself, do it to defeat the demons inside your head. And that extreme and this extreme, both of them doesn't work. The pure alignment approach leads to inconsistency, making excuses, and finally seeing others eventually make it while you are honoring your feelings. While the Spartan approach leads to injuries, burnout, and like total failure of all your systems, and you just break yourself down. The optimal position on this spectrum is right leaning. So, what is the method to do it? I have this discomfort architecture which has 4 layers. If you go through all of these 4 layers, bro, these birds, shut up for a second, I'm making a video. So going through all these layers will build a systematic resilience, going through different bunch of challenges in each of these layers. The first layer is the foundational layer where your core habits of working out, deep work for 4 or 5 hours, and scheduled recovery like sleep for 8 hours, and you can add a few more things, right? But these are the core habits, non-negotiable. You need to be fit, you need to work deeply, and you need to take rest. These things are non-negotiable. This is the foundational layer. All right, the second layer is what I call the structure layer. You have to give a structure to what habits you are following. In workout, what split are you following? How are you taking recovery seriously? How much protein are you taking? In work, what are you working towards? What are your systems of ensuring consistency? What are your systems of ensuring you plan time the right way? You plan your focus the right way. You are completely focused on your task when you're doing it. So all these comes into the structure layer. Hey there, if you're an entrepreneur, creator, or hustler of any kind and you know what to do, but you just can't get yourself to execute at that level, I made a community for you. Inside the Legion of Vajra, you get access to premium courses such as the Peak Execution Lab, workbooks, checklists, guides, one-on-one strategy calls with me, and we also do a live stream every single week where you can discuss your problems directly with me. And we are very excited to start the Ruthless 100 this May, where we will execute ruthlessly for 100 days straight. This will be your accountability group, but the only catch is the cohort is limited to the first 50 people who join. Do check out the link in description and check if we have a spot left for you. See you inside. The third layer is the recovery layer. Most people forget about this. The motivation circles are all about just to do it. But most people forget about recovery. There is a discipline of rest as well. If you don't take enough rest, you don't have enough energy and fuel to work your best, to give your best. So you need to ensure you have the recovery layer in place. You are sleeping for 8 hours, you have deep sleep, you sleep on a particular time. You must know the importance of sleep regularity. The time you go to sleep and the time you wake up, they should be regular. Like the time that you go to sleep does not matter that much. Like if you can go to sleep by 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. or 2 a.m., whatever you are sleeping at, you stick to it. That is more important, not the time itself. But I would always suggest sleep early, wake up early. That is the ideal. But more important thing is the regularity in that sleep routine. So all these things form the recovery layer. And the fourth layer is the adaptation layer, where you are changing the gears to make things more difficult. This is the place where you overload progressively in the workouts, in your work routine, in your discipline, you are changing gears so that you make things a little more challenging for yourself. Because if there is no challenge, there is no growth. So the four layers, again, I recap. First is the foundational layer, the core habits that you need to have. The second is the structure layer, where you structure the core habits. The third layer is the recovery layer, where you set calculated rest protocols. And the fourth layer is the adaptation layer, where you increase and change the gear so that all these things are always challenging to you and you don't fall in the place of complacency. This works because it gives you a structure for like daily progress. You are measuring things consistently because consistency is non-negotiable. So it is a daily structure which gives you daily progress. It is challenging enough, so you are actually building mental strength, physical strength, or any skill you are going for, and you are not pushing yourself to burnout. It is flexible enough to prevent burnout, because if you are just taking that Spartan approach of just do things without caring about your body, then you'll break yourself. And it is sustainable enough so that you will keep this approach for longer. So if you take the full alignment approach, there is huge inconsistency and you eventually drop it. And the Spartan approach, it's too intense that you just get injured or break yourself and go into burnout, so you drop that also. So the most sustainable thing is right leaning, that you are challenging yourself but you are flexible enough so that you don't get into burnout, and that's why it is sustainable. Take this approach and do it for decades, and that's when you will become incredibly disciplined. Now, these are the 5 implementation steps that will take you from wherever you are on the spectrum to the right leaning spectrum, which is the optimal spot. So here we go. The first thing you need to do is audit your current position. Just measure where you are. Are you more on the left leaning side, the Ali Abdal feel good productivity side, where you are all about honoring your feelings, honoring your emotions, honoring your energy cycles, all this gay stuff? So if you are there, it's all right. Just mention in the comments where you are on that discipline spectrum. Are you more left leaning or are you more right leaning? You can do this by tracking your consistency and discipline. Obviously when you are tracking it, you would improve it, so it would be biasing towards the right, but just observe it, don't try to change it, and observe how you are doing things, and then you be brutally honest with yourself that I am left leaning, it's okay, we all start somewhere. Then you pin down that I am here, because after these steps you are going to be far ahead. Step 2 is to define your non-negotiable. 3 things I mentioned: working out, deep work, and deep sleep. These should always be there. Then you can add a more important priority, such as let's say improving your social skills is a priority to you, improving your AI skills, that will come in the deep work slot, right? But you just define your non-negotiables, that right now these 3 things are very important to me and I am going to go full in all these 3 things. So a point of caution: this list should not be long. Ideally it should be less than 5 things. You should be focused, and the focus is the absence of all the distractions. So if your focus is splitting in all these different things, you will not be able to give yourself enough intensity in any one of them. Just keep 3 to 5 things, ideally just 3 pillars, which is for me is working out, deep work, and sleep. Now what I do in deep work, that is whole another thing. Just scratch that out. What are the 3 to 5 non-negotiable core things to you that you want to be very disciplined at? Workout, some form of physical activity should be there, some form of work should be there, and some obviously sleep and rest protocols should be there. Step 3 is to build your recovery protocol. You should rest with the same discipline as work, because if you don't, your work will make you to take a long period of rest and recovery, which will just block your progress. So you don't want to get into this burnout stage, and that is very possible if you don't put the recovery protocol in place, because right leaning is more towards hard work, working out and pushing your limits. But if you do not define your recovery and rest protocols, you will eventually be very motivated by David Goggins one day, and then you'll try to run for 34 kilometers in one day and you'll break your knee. So don't want to be stupid. So just set your recovery protocols. This can be like 8 hours of night sleep from 10:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. That is set. Then after each deep work slot, you do one NSDR. For those who don't know, it is non-sleep deep rest protocol, or yoga nidra. So all these rest protocols should be there. Yeah, and simple things like boring breaks, right? I have been thinking of making a video about boring breaks. So like after working for 1.5 hours on your script or something, you just take 5 minutes, close your eyes and take deep breaths. That is such a good rest protocol. So all these rest and recovery protocols should be jotted down, and make the if then statements. If I feel like this, then I will do this rest recovery protocol. All right, then step 4 is setting your adaptation protocol. Step 4 is the progressive overload. You don't need to be stay complacent. So you need to increase the challenge by a little every week or every 15 days or every 30 days, whatever works for you. So you should have 1 day or 2 days in the month striked out that this day I reassess all the things I'm doing. I'll reassess my workouts, I'll reassess my working quality, I'll reassess my sleep quality, and I will improve it if it is slacking a bit on any of these areas, or I will increase I'll add a simple layer of difficulty to these areas. And step 5 is installing pattern breakers, because you might have noticed there are certain patterns that happens which breaks your streaks, which breaks your sleeping discipline. You must be aware of all these patterns. For example, you post something on LinkedIn and there is some engagement, you are reading comments, replying to them, and you forget to sleep on time on that day. This happens every time you post on LinkedIn. So that is how you identify patterns that happen and then break your schedules, break your discipline, and fucks up your consistency. So you should be clear about what are these patterns and install pattern breakers. Like for example, if you have done a LinkedIn post, then for 4 hours after that you will switch off your mobile. That is a great pattern interrupt. So doing these 5 things will put you in the right place to build incredible discipline, and you need that in your peak window, in your 20s, when you have the highest energy, when you have the most low risks and no responsibilities. So you should be taking massive action. And for those 1% of the people who are actually willing to build ruthless discipline and become awesome action takers, I have built a community. So for the 1% people who want to really take this on another level, build ruthless discipline, consistency, and become the best action taker there ever is, you must join the Legion of Vajra community. We are limiting the members to first 50 people who apply. So just check that out, and I'll see you inside.